a lot of similarities to Wednesday's game. Columbus started very, very brightly, and I actually thought we'd weathered the initial storm. A difficult place to come, no two ways about it. They've been in very good form and some terrific results here. So it would have been tough with a whole group, but with the bodies missing, that challenge became that much more difficult. The second half started with a much brighter look about it. The obvious difficulty was carving out goal scoring moments, and in the end, obviously, that was the Achilles heel.
Thank you, Coach. We are going to open the floor for questions. A reminder for everybody to please use the hand raising button to let us know if you have a question for Coach. With that, Drake, do you have a question?
Yeah, thanks, Christina. I appreciate it. Gary, in terms of the last goal, how do you talk to Jack? He came into the press conference on Wednesday owning up to how the Montreal goal happened. He comes out, he has a pretty good performance, I would say, tonight, and obviously the unfortunate goal at the end. How do you manage someone like Jack who's still on the rise as a professional in this game?
Drake, I think you're looking at a situation there 95 minutes into the game where we are helter-skelter looking for a moment to get a point out of the game. And I don't think you see too many of those situations for our group. Unfortunately, we conceded on a fast attack, counter-attack. There's nothing Jack can do about that. I thought Jack's performance was very, very decent. And if you look around at the group, try to freshen it up a little bit. But Jack was one of those 4 guys, I think 5, including Joe, who started and just about finished every minute of this week. So it's been a very, very tough week for some of these guys. Noticeable with some omissions. Shaq wasn't ready to go. We've got Walker and Lucas on a bit of a fast track. So look, we're going through that period of time here where we're missing bodies. We've got some very challenging games. We've been on a terrific run. And now we've got to look at what the next couple of games mean to us and to try and gather back a little bit of form before we go into Leagues Cup. But I don't want to overlook what the group's already achieved and the position we're in. And we're always going to hit a little bit of a road bump. And I think we have done that. And some of that has been forced upon us through the Gold Cup and some of the guys that have gone away. And to be perfectly honest, some very, very important pieces to our group. The likes of Jacob and Fafa have made so much difference in our front line. To not have any of that pace has really caused a few problems and issues. And then, of course, you lose someone like Annabelle, who's so experienced and been so much of a high-level player for us. So, not easy.
Dre, do you have any follow-ups?
Yeah, about Teal. I mean, he was obviously, he missed. What exactly, it's been talked about, he's had a lower body injury, but what exactly is ailing him? And is this an opportunity maybe to get him in the next couple of games? Is that a possibility? He's missed 2 now.
Yeah, he had a bit of a tight hamstring. And I think the recovery from that has been very decent. There was no major tear in his hamstring. We've left him behind to try and give him a solid 2 weeks, especially being an explosive player, to try and be ready for next weekend. That was the plan. We're moving along the right track. And I think his addition next weekend would be really useful and helpful.
Another one for you, Gary. How open-minded are you in terms of having to maybe put guys in different spots? We've never really seen Randall up there with, let's say, in Luke's position. What is that what you're going to have to do over the next couple of weeks with the likes of Fafa and Jacob being out? How open-minded do you think you're going to have to be going into July?
Well, look, first of all, I've changed the look of the group from one that has been very, very useful for us. You know, we've spoken many times about playing with a more aggressive look to the group in more of a diamond type shape. It's been hugely difficult, because of the opponents we've played against. We saw it at home against St. Louis with some bodies that fulfill those roles that are so vitally important to any system, but especially to that system. We've come away from home against two excellent home teams, two very, very talented teams, and we've been missing some valuable pieces of the puzzle to try and fulfill what we would like to. So there's got to be some adaptation. I've got no problem with the guys and the way they've gone about their business tonight. I mean, the work that they put into that game tonight was phenomenal, given the week that we've had and the travel that we've had. We've been away from home since Tuesday. Absolutely no question that the guys have committed fully to try and get points out of tonight's game. But there's no getting away from it. When you're missing valuable pieces of the puzzle, you're going to miss important connections. You're going to miss important creative situations and opportunities. And if you look at the guys that are out, Jacob, Fafa, and Teal are all the other guys that have got on the score sheet for us outside of Hanning. There's very few other guys through different reasons. Randall's been injured, of course. You've taken away some goals out of the team as well. I know Hanny is the forefront of that, but you know, you do lose some vital pieces. So I have no issues. We've changed shape. Guys have really put their mind to it, and we've come up short. That's the bottom line. We've come up short against a very good side, but not for a lack of trying.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
First of all, we have a great group. It's been so fun to watch over the past 2 months, whether it was with injury or with international duty, just the success of the team, different guys stepping up in key moments. And we knew that this was going to be a difficult road trip. We were obviously hoping to get something out of either game, both games rather. So a little disappointed, but no, we have a big opportunity to bounce back at home. Probably not happy at all with either of the first halves of these two games, but yeah, looking to regroup and get guys some rest and get ready to go again on the weekend.
Thank you, Walker. Drake, we have time for 2 questions.
All right. Walker, I mean, you guys knew that this part of the season was coming, obviously in terms of guys getting the opportunity to play at the international level and the games you guys be playing domestically. It's how do you go about making changes to get back on the right track? You knew the obstacles were coming, but what do you do about it when you have so many guys missing?
I think it's a combination of things. I mean, different guys always got to step up when their number is called. We never have any doubts when there's rotation in the group. Historically, we've been pretty good when different guys have to step in. So that shouldn't be an issue for us. The other side of things is continuing to learn how to evolve, whether in whatever formation we're playing, whether that's in a diamond in the middle, whether that's in a 5-back, 4-back. So just kind of figuring out, what's going to be most successful, whether at home or away. We know that at home we're almost always going to be playing that diamond. That's brought a lot of joy in the attack. So I would imagine we get back to that this weekend, and then moving forward, evaluating, is it best to bring out a back 5 sometimes on the road? Is it not? And those are decisions that, Gary and the staff will have to make. But those are just the things that we, have to evaluate after weeks like this.
And my second final one, just in the context of the overall season for you guys, the veterans of your team, Joe and Dan, as of late, have talked about really the playoffs has just been maybe a floor, what you guys expect of yourselves. In the context of the season, given that, how alarming is this week? Has this week been for you guys?
I don't think it's alarming at all. We knew it was going to be a challenging week. We're still in a really, really good spot in the standings. We aren't ever satisfied as players of just, making the playoffs. I know we talk about that that is the initial goal, because that's the way that you get to more trophies. So it is important. But when we look at the standings, we're chasing upwards. We're not looking at the line below us. We're chasing, Supporters Shield. We're chasing Cincinnati at the top of the Eastern Conference. So disappointing that in a night where they don't pick up points that we weren't able to gain some ground on them. But in the big scheme of things, we're fine with where we are. We're in second place in the conference. And we know that we have an opportunity to get 3 points again this weekend at home. So it's a long season. You can't get too caught up in having back-to-back losses the same way you can't get caught up in having back-to-back wins. So obviously we're looking to break that losing streak, but not something that we're going to panic about here.